Alright, so today in class we're going to talk about natural resource depletion, which is a problem that's affecting the world and will continue to affect the world if there isn't some global action. So first thing, I want you to take a look at this graph. This might not be too surprising to many of you. First, take a look at the axes. On the x-axis here we have year, and on the y-axis we have population in billions. That should say the human population, to be more specific. We're just talking about humans here. So population in billions, that means that 6.0 is talking about 6 billion people, or 1.0 is talking about 1 billion people, because we have the unit here in parentheses. Okay, so you can see along this blue line, over time, it starts at 1050 AD, so about 1,000 years ago. For a long period of time, the human population was roughly flat. So there wasn't much change in the human population for this 500 years. And that's obviously an estimate because they didn't have accurate ways of counting population 1,000 years ago, but it's a pretty good estimate. And then around the 1800s, you have a sharp increase in the human population happening. And right here, we're at a little past 2,000. So the population that we have right now is about 7 billion people in the world. And you can see this graph actually goes to 2050. This is just a projection. So this is what we expect to happen, but we don't actually know what the population will be in 2050, obviously. So this projection shows that the population in 2050 will be about 9 billion people. So 2 billion more people than we have in the world today. All right, so resource availability. Okay, I think that we've talked about this before because every time that I try to say this word, I can't do it. Resource availability. If you don't already have this in your notes, go ahead and get it down. So this is the amount of resource that exists at any given time. So we could talk about water availability, talking about the amount of water that exists in the world, or clean water availability, which is more important to humans. All right, and then resource depletion. This is the amount of resources available going down over time because of overuse. So the word depletion means decreasing, basically. Okay, so we're going to be talking about this today in class, but I want you to start thinking about this. Non-renewable resources, remember, are the resources that can't replace themselves in a very short period of time. So things like oil, gas, all the fossil fuels, coal, rocks, and sand, that we could kind of make that. And then renewable resources are like plants, animals, anything that can regenerate itself within a human lifetime. Okay, so as we have more people in the world, and we keep using non-renewable resources like gas, that amount is definitely going to go down no matter what we do. If we keep using non-renewable resources, we're just going to run out eventually. Now, renewable resources, it's a little bit trickier. So trees, for example, which we cut down in order to make more space, but also cut down in order to use for paper, for buildings, that kind of stuff. Trees take, depending on the tree, a certain number of years to regenerate. And if we are cutting them down faster than they can replace themselves, it's a similar thing to the non-renewable resources. We'll eventually run out because we can't replace them as fast as we're using them. So I want you to think about that. You're going to answer a question about that in the Google form for today, thinking about how we can time renewable resource use in order to not deplete it completely. All right, and that's all I have for you today. So go ahead and fill out the Google form that is attached to this assignment, and I'll see you in class.